Welcome everyone. Today we are going to dig into some blues licks, and this one here is a specific one. It was requested on my Patreon. Obviously all of my tabs go on Patreon, and I've started doing these kind of deep dive lessons on there as well. But we'll do a few deep dive lessons here as well on YouTube. So obviously the ones I make on Patreon are a little, they're like produced lessons, but these ones here are for you guys here on YouTube. You can always join me obviously on Patreon, but the one that we're going to dig into today is like a Texas style jam in E. So E, good old E blues basically, and the tab for it for the full solo is linked below. And also it's on Patreon, obviously, along with all my other tabs. And the track where you can watch the full solo is also linked below. So you can always refer to that if you want to see the whole solo. But I've picked out 3 licks that we can dive into and that I'm going to teach you guys. So let me play around with the 3 licks that I've picked out, and get your guitars ready. Let's have a little hang. And also let me know where in the world you are. I always love to hear that. We'll have a quick moment. I'll shout out some folks before we dig in. I can see people are tuning in now, so that's cool. But yeah, the 3 licks. Let me have a go. So okay, so 3 licks, right there they were. So the first one, kind of down low. Next one, so that one has some like octave action, and so I'm not saying that this is like Texas style as a Texan blues guitar player would do it. I'm saying I was playing on a Texas style track, my track, which is linked below, which is a Texas style kind of blues. But I'm being me. I'm not trying to be, Stevie Ray Vaughan or anything else like that. So these licks are not trying to be in the Texan style as such. And like this octave lick, for example, is it's not exactly standard blues, but I think it comes, it's a thing, and I had fun when I was doing it, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, so those ones are like octaves. And so the last one is like a huge Gilmore-esque kind of bend, I guess. So, and then a little finish phrase that goes down to the 5 chord. And then you can add that as well. That's the end of the solo. And actually the second phrase is that's the first part of the solo. But that one, we'll do that one number 2. We'll start down low. With that bit there. we go, guys. We'll dig into the licks in a second. Let's see who's in the house. So also, yeah, studio's coming together. Still working on it, to be honest with you. Like, you know, oh, there's the guitar from yesterday. But yeah, it's all coming together. I'm still working on the sound and like getting all my gear here from. I've got a lot of my gear in 2 other places. So yeah. Give it time and I'll be all ready. I want to give you guys the full studio tour when I'm ready to do so. Right now it's kind of a mess. So there we go. But yeah, let's dig into some licks. And let me see who's in town. Benjamin, nice to see you. Here with a beer, love it. Oh, in Italy. Nice, yeah, I guess it's beer o'clock in Italy. It's not quite beer o'clock here yet. It's 12:10 in America, or on the West Coast. New Jersey, Seth, how you doing? Becker, hey, how you doing? From Holland. Vancouver is in the house, very cool. I was just talking about Vancouver. It's a beautiful place, I love it up there. Oregon, Laura, hey, how you doing? Tunisia, wow, Tunisia, amazing. Indonesia as well. That's very cool. Milford, Ohio. Colorado Springs, Sweden in the house. Love it, guys. That's very cool. All right, so let's dig into it. So 3 licks. And like I said, you can watch the full solo that we are dealing with. If you click below, there's a link for the track where you can watch the full intro solo. And obviously you can, use the track to practice the licks, because they're obviously perfect for that track. The track is literally the one that these licks were played on. So click on the track and you will have a perfect practice tool for these licks right there, and you can watch the full solo. And if you want to get the tab, join me on Patreon. I have over 150 tabs, I think, now up on Patreon. So like the tab lover tier on my Patreon gets you access to all of those. So you get access to like, over 150 tabs basically, just like that. And there's also scale maps and, like I said, deep dive lessons, all of that good stuff. All right, so blues and E, guys, let's do it. I'm obviously playing my Fender, playing through a Fender Supersonic amp, just keeping it super simple. I've got a hot cake, a little bit of drive on it. I'm playing it pretty clean. The solo has got quite a bit more drive on it. If you listen to it, you can hear a lot more drive, but I wanted to keep the sound pretty clean, so that it's as clean as possible, as easy to grab a hold onto for you guys, so that you can hear everything that's going on. And yeah, let's start with the low lick, like I said, and that one starts with that big old bend like that from the 2nd fret of the G string, that A note there. And actually, let me just have a quick look at the tab here. I want to make sure that I'm doing this right for you guys. So yeah, just wanted to have a look at the tab to make sure I'm getting every little detail right. So that one is a full bend up to the B. So you can always check either with the open B or with the B note there on the 4th fret of the G string. So you do a full bend up like that. And yeah, that's like basically on the 4th beat of a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So just at the end of a bar, basically. And that bend there, obviously, I'm doing it with my 2nd finger. So really try and make sure that your 1st finger is kind of there as well, helping out with the bend. It's a pretty rough bend, to be honest. It definitely takes some power. So, you know, make sure you've done a bit of warming up, maybe do a bit of stretching, all that sort of thing. So that's your first one. And then we go, so now we got like triplets going on basically. So here we have open E, open B to open E and open B. So and then we got third finger on the third fret of the B string, and that one is I mean, you can think of it as a full bend, but it's actually more of a it's more of a little bend like that. I've called it a quarter note bend. So yeah, quarter note bend or half note bend even. You can do that, but that's not actually what I'm doing. I'm kind of going just more like a little bluesy intonation. So I do that 3 times. Bend up that note there, the D note on the 3rd fret, and then up to the top E string, just open E. So, and again, that bend, you know, I'm getting on there, under there, under the 3rd finger with my 2nd finger, taking part in that bend right there. So far so good. So I'm actually doing that bend quite slowly, the first one. And now we're going to walk down the scale. So 3rd fret on the B string to the open B string. So, and then we got this bit. This is my favorite part. So here we're like totally mixing up the good old E minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic, or mixolydian if you like, but really it's the major pentatonic, like that. So that sound, you know, the sound of mixing the major pentatonic with the minor pentatonic, that's such a blues thing. One that I love to play around with, and one that you hear, you know, loads of blues players playing around with. It's very much an integral like part of the blues sound. For that reason, I'm making a Wednesday warm-up on that topic, mixing minor and major pentatonic. So look out for that one. That'll come soon. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how it goes in the bar. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we land on this note, the A, and we're gonna give that one a little bend, so just a half bend, and come back down. So that's the 2nd fret of the G string that you're hitting with your 2nd finger. You're gonna bend it up half note, let it come down, and then pull off to the open G. Okay? And then we're going to do a quick pull off as well from 2 to 0 on the D string. Like that, again with the 2nd finger. So that in itself is something that you could zoom in on and practice. Okay? So so we got that one. And now we're gonna go down what's essentially a major arpeggio, is the E major arpeggio. You know, you got the major third, the root, and the fifth. Everything you need for an E major triad. Like that. So, but we're going to go from the minor third, the open G, to the major third by way of a hammer on. So you hammer on from 0 to 1 on the G string, first finger. And then I'm using my third finger for that D note, second fret of the D string. And then second finger for the second fret of the A string. So just try that. So, and one thing haven't mentioned yet is obviously there is a degree of muting necessary here. So for example, you know, you don't hear that, and that is because by the time I'm hitting the next note, you can either mute that D string with your right hand, the picking hand here, or I think actually what I'm doing as well is I'm hitting the D string with my thumb on purpose, obviously. Another thing you can do, you know, once I hit with my first finger, it mutes the D string. So there's, you know, really three ways. There's the palm, there's hitting it softly with your thumb here, the picking thumb, and there's touching the D string with your first finger. So there's many ways that you can mute strings. The point is that you want to, you know, be aware of that, and it can take a really long time to code in little moves like that. But if you do it really slowly, you know, it gets coded into your brain, and that way, you know, your playing sounds less like well, it's hard to make it sound bad actually because it's in it's in open E. So, but you know, I'm trying to say that being able to separate the notes that you want separated and have that kind of clarity. Well, that's how you do it. You know, it's by muting in very subtle ways the notes that you don't want to hear. So yeah, just a little tip. Okay, so far so good. Now this one here, I love this kind of lick. It's basically going down the minor blues scale, and then kind of resolving to going up the major pentatonic. So down the minor blues scale, up the major pentatonic. And this is how it goes. So we hit the first fret on the A string with the first finger, and pull that off really in a strong kind of way, and pretty quick. It's almost like it's just a flam for drums, like a drummer would. It's a very quick pull off. And then we play that G and slide up to G sharp, so 3 to 4 on the low E string, third finger. So and then we're gonna walk up the major pentatonic. So second fret, fourth fret on the A string, and then second fret on the D string. There it is, guys. So this is a fragment of a longer phrase that was in my. It kind of continues. The phrase continues in my solo. I don't stop there. I just kind of keep going. But let's keep it simple for now. Like I said, the full tab is linked below. It's on my Patreon, and you can watch the full solo as well. So, all right, I hope you will have fun with that one. That was number 1. Let's do number 2, guys. Yeah, so here we go. So from that position down here, we go up the octave to the the same position basically. Favorite position really for blues guitar, the box position, the E shape. So okay. And here we have a similar kind of thing. We're playing around with first E minor pentatonic, and then it goes in and adds that major third for more of a mix kind of scenario. So yeah, and this is the very start of the solo. So it goes classic blues lick, really. I certainly can't claim ownership to that, but then again, who can? So bend up, same as here, up the octave. Just you bend 14th fret to the 16th on the G string with your third finger, and remember to get under the string with your second finger as well as your third, so that you really, you're not just doing it with one finger, because that really hurts and you can hurt yourself that way as well. So don't do that. Support your bend and use your first finger to cover some of the other strings so that they don't ring unnecessarily. So here we go. We got that note, and then we got first finger on 12 and 12 on the B string and E string. Classic lick. And then we're going to bend from 15 up to 17 on the B string. And I'm using my arm for this arm for some vibrato. You can just do that if you don't have an arm, a tremolo arm. You can do that, or you can use the arm like I do. And then we're going to go like that. So just to hit those two top strings again on 12 and 12, like that, like a. Yeah. And then another bend from 15 to 17 again. And then we're going to go into this phrase. So here comes the major third. Mixo kind of vibes, Mixolydian. So you can do a rake into it if you want. But yeah, there we go. Okay, let's break down this little phrase. So we got the 12th fret on the E string, and then we're pulling off from 15 to 12 on the B string, like that. And then we're hitting the 14th fret on the G string. And then we got 12 again on the B string. And this time we know that we're going to the G string 12th fret after that. So if you bar so that you're ready to go to that string, to the G string afterwards, that works the best. So, and it's the same actually with this phrase here up at the top. I'm already ready for the B string to be played, so I'm actually barring the top two strings there, and then moving my first finger up subtly so that I'm barring the B string and the G string after that. And that note there, the G, you can give that a little blues with a little quarter note bend. Okay, checking the tab to see that we're doing it right so far. Yep, we're on the ball. So okay, so after that we're gonna go simply down the minor blues scale. Okay, so after that you got 14, 12 on D, and then 14, 13, 12 on the A string. So, and the fingers are 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1. So, okay? There we go. So, after that, we're going to do that thing where we circle around the major third. So we go 12, 10, and then up to the glorious 11, the major third. The happiness. Okay, so we're actually sliding all of those notes. So 12, 10, 11. And then doing the octave above it. Okay, so and the octave above is there on the 13th fret of the G string. Okay? And then we're just doing this thing. So this is just a principle that I play around with a lot actually, which is just playing it's playing octaves, but you play the notes separately. So many ways you can do it, but yeah, I also like to go I love to like slide them around as well, but anyways, in this case I'm playing them from low to high. So what happens is this. So I'm going up the scale, so there's obviously 11 and 13, and then I go 12 on the A string, and then 14 on the G string. That's an A note played in up the octave, like that. And then you go 14 on A and 16 on G string. So, and you go back to the A note, so 12 and 14 there. And then back to the 13 as well. 11 on the A and 13 on the G string. So that was... Okay, so those are triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. What am I doing? Oh yeah, that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. So, and now it gets a little bit jazzy. You know, I like to sneak in a tiny bit of jazziness, and it's really just doing the blues thing of you know, playing the minor third and the major third. But here I'm doing it in a way where we go play the octave, and then you know, of the major third, and then we play the octave of the minor third right after it, like that. So 10 on A and 12 on G. So like that, which is kind of colorful. And then we're going to go down to the E note note there on the 7th fret, and E note on the 9th fret. And then we're going to play the D, so 5th fret and 7th fret. And I'm using alternate picking for all these, so down, up, down, up. And we're going to play the A, so 5th fret on the low E string and 7th fret on the D string. And then play the B. So that means 7th fret and 9th fret. So and then the finish of the phrase, the very last part of the phrase goes, so it plays the full octaves together, and then lands right there. That's the sub dominant, the 4 chord, that it lands straight on that. So I was kind of aiming for that, and I got lucky. This is obviously an improvised solo, and I got lucky and ended on the straight on the A like that, like I was aiming for. So like that. So like that, down, up. That is obviously 6th fret on the low E string and 8th fret on the D string. That's a B flat, is leading into that A note, which is the 5th fret on the low E and 7th fret on the D string. And yeah, those ones are a little tricky if you haven't done them before, octaves. So obviously the trick with octaves is that you need to, again, I was talking about muting before, you need to mute the notes that you don't want to be hearing, so that you can, you know, do so that you can, you know, hit the guitar and really mean those octaves without hearing a ton of notes that you don't want to hear. So that's the way to do it. You know, I'm gently touching the A string with my first finger, and my first finger is also gently touching all the rest of the strings, you know, the top 3 strings, so that we don't hear those. So I can, you know, I can make windmills as much as I want, and you'll only hear the notes that I want you to hear there. So that, again, you know, it's a subtle art, the art of you know, muting strings like that. But take your time, play it really slowly, and it will eventually code it into your head and your fingers, so that you won't even have to think about it. It just happens naturally. But you got to give yourself the chance of coding it in by doing it really slowly, many times, with your full, like, powers of concentration. So it's not the kind of stuff you practice in front of the TV or whatever. It's the kind of stuff you practice when you're really, you know, thinking about what you're doing. And I promise you, it'll do wonders for you playing if you give it that kind of focus. So there we go. That's the end of that phrase. So funny little octave run there. So. That is that phrase right there. And yeah, hope you enjoy that one, guys. If you've just joined, obviously the track that you can practice this on is linked below, like a Texas style blues in E. And the full tab for the full solo is also linked below. It's on my Patreon. So there we go, guys. Also, actually, today is 2 weeks since, now that we're on the topic of blues, it's 2 weeks since the release of my album, the Sexy Series, which is basically 10 slow blues jams that I put out. It's out on Spotify. It's out on my website, and, you know, everywhere, basically, iTunes, whatever. It's out everywhere. And on my website, you can grab 2 free downloads from it if you want to check out a couple of the jams. And the kind of mother track, the thing that started the Sexy series in last April 2019. It was a year ago. That one is linked below as well. That one's got over 2 million views already. It's became a very popular track pretty quickly. And so that has a tab for the solo as well. It's quite a lot easier than this one. It's more of a feeling kind of solo rather than a Texas Fire kind of solo. And there's also a full like deep dive lesson into that solo on my Patreon. It's all linked below. So dig into that if you like. It's like a slow blues in A. And yeah, grab a free download from my Sexy series album. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, let's do the final lick for today. So we've had now that and so obviously those ones you can play them with distortion and it'll be good fun. But like I said earlier, I kind of want to keep it clean for you guys so you can hear all of what's going on. All right, so let's do the final lick. This one is a massive bend, and it's at the end of the sequence, so just before it goes for a moment to the 5 chord at the very end of the sequence. 5 chord of E, obviously being B or B7. And it goes, bends up to that B like that, and whoo, that is it's a pretty big bend. So you know, make sure you're warmed up. If you've just joined, you know, give yourself a chance to warm up. But anyway, so we're bending from the minor third on the 8th fret there, the G natural, with the 3rd finger. So 8th fret of the B string, and we're gonna bend that up to the A note there on the 10th fret, which is the 4th of E, and then we're gonna let it come back down. And again, as always, you know, remember to really support your bend with the remaining fingers behind your 3rd finger. Don't just do it with your 3rd finger, man, that's gonna hurt. So all right, let's go on this Gilmore-esque journey together. So up and down. So you pick it and you put it up. You bend it up and you come back down. And then, without picking it again, you bend it to the equivalent, or as far up as you can get, to the equivalent of that B note there. So that's a 2-note bend from the 8th fret to the 12th fret. And then you let it come down. And then you play that E note there on the 5th fret of the B string. So and you know, let it come down as well, like that. And then we're gonna finish off with this phrase. So this is a slightly different kind of position. So if you know your caged system, you'll see what this position is. And yeah, if you don't know the cage system, you know, check it out. My good friend Brett Papa actually has a course on the cage system. It's worth checking out. And yeah, all my scale maps and everything like that come in the cage system, so that you can, you know, open up the neck really, and you can play, you know, any scale all over the neck. It's a really great system. But anyway, so it's like, I won't get into that right now. But it's the C shape basically. If you take a C chord like that, the open C chord, and you make that into a bar chord, well, that's what you would get there, the E shape. Oh, sorry, the E chord played with that C shape. So, and that's the scale shape that we're in. But we're in the sort of minor pentatonic territory, but nevertheless the C shape. So there you go. So it's, and then you can finger it in a variety of ways. Let's go with little finger on the 7th fret of the G string, going down to the 4th fret with the first finger, and then 7th fret on the D string with your little finger, and then back to the 4th fret on the G string, and then after that, straight after that, you go. So you do that little sexy blues bend from the minor third, and just up a little bit there. Let me see, what did I notate that as? Yeah, I actually notated that as a half note bend, so all the way up to the major third. Okay? So that's quite a bit of a bend, and again, you know, try and first finger behind it to help the second finger do that bend. And I'm obviously bending it downwards because, I don't know, it's just, it's harder to keep it kind of tidy when you're bending up. And once you get into the lower strings, you start thinking about falling off of the fretboard and stuff like that. So, and then we're gonna go down to land on that B note right there, and we do that just down the minor pentatonic scale, basically. E, 7th fret of the A string, that D note on the 5th fret, and then the B note there on the 7th fret of the E string. That's it. So, and that's pretty much it. So this is the end of the solo. So you could also go and play the ending, which is 7 to 5, and then just a low E. It goes and whoa, and does a full-on dive there at the end. So yeah, guys, I hope that you will have fun with these licks, and I will be obviously putting out more tracks very soon. I've just moved into this new studio, so everything's been pretty crazy. I've also had my composition hat on, composing music for a TV thing and whatnot. So so yeah, there we go. But I'm very much keeping the tabs coming. I'm about to release new fresh tabs over the next couple of days on Patreon, obviously, and there's also the Wednesday warm-ups. You can count on those. They are continuing. This week's Wednesday warm-up was a pretty hard one. Next week's Wednesday warm-up is a little easier, kind of an arpeggio exercise to get. I don't want to say too much, actually, but yeah, it's an arpeggio thing. And yeah, if you have requests for tracks, styles of solos, or like anything Wednesday warm-up oriented, just let me know. I'm all ears. I always honor the kind of requests that I get on Patreon first, because I mean that's part of the privilege that patrons get. But I'm open to all and any suggestions for tracks and jams and ideas and all that sort of stuff. I'm here to help people and be as of much service as I can. So. Sneaking some of those licks in there. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out. As always, appreciate it very much. And let me know if there's any specific like solos or tracks that you want to deep dive. Lesson 4. I'm here to help, and I obviously love doing this deep dive kind of vibe that we've started. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. And so yeah, let me know any requests. I'm always open to requests. It's fun to be able to nerd out about licks and guitaring and all of that stuff with you guys. I appreciate the community and the conversation that we have going on. It very much it's just that it's a joy, and it's something that I appreciate very much, especially in this kind of time. So M. Berg says, make a Stevie Ray Vaughan slow blues backtrack. Sure, that might be a cool vibe. Let me know if you have any specific track in mind. That is definitely something that could be fun to play around with, for sure. Michael says, my tenor sax doesn't have frets, but it's still fun to play along. That is so awesome. I love the fact that there are so many different like instrument groups jamming along now. I know that the bass players especially are, there's definitely something going on there. In fact, my biggest playlist now on Spotify is a bass jams playlist. That just blew up like so quickly. It was really interesting to see how there was a community that formed around that, because I've started putting out many of the jams as well on Spotify as well. You can check the link below for both my main Spotify and my jam tracks Spotify right there. So yeah, there we go, guys. That's it. Great to hang with you guys. Hope you have tons of fun with the licks. I'll be back very soon. Wednesday warm-up coming up, more jams, all that stuff. And thanks for the support on Patreon, obviously. That makes all of the difference. And it's a great little community that is starting to form there. I really appreciate the support. All my tabs go there. Loads of deep dive lessons, scale maps, all that stuff. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. I will see you very soon. Take it easy.